Welcome back, everyone. I've been thinking quite a bit about Transport Fever 2 recently, and specifically about whether or not I would recommend it to a gamer. And it really comes down to one of two situations. First, if you do not already own the original Transport Fever, then this is a very easy game to recommend because I am having tons of fun with it. If you enjoy the tycoon and strategy type experience where you're purchasing, whether it's planes, trains, or boats, and setting up routes for them and managing their profitability through different periods of time as technology progresses, then you are going to have a blast in this game because there is so much enjoyment to be had. However, the decision becomes a little bit different for those of you who already own the original Transport Fever. And the reason is there's really nothing new, no new options that I can point to and say, hey, here's this new shiny thing that you're going to want to do in Transport Fever 2. When it comes down to whether or not I recommend this game for those who already have the original, it comes down to one thing over and over, and that's graphics. So if you're someone who likes to play the original Transport Fever or strategy games in general from a zoomed out top-down view where you want to see as much of the map as you possibly can, then this game is going to look very similar to Transport Fever. The graphics are still upgraded, but when you're such, top-down, zoomed-out view, you're not going to get as much of an indication of that. However, if you prefer to really zoom in and see the city in action, if you want to see the citizens moving to and from destinations, if you want to see your transportation moving throughout the land, then Transport Fever 2 really stands out and quite frankly makes it impossible for me to go back to the original Transport Fever, because here recently that's exactly what I tried to do. I wanted to see just how different the graphics were, and it was a huge difference. In fact, I couldn't even play the game for very long. We had a gameplay series here on the channel here recently for the original Transport Fever leading up to the release of Part 2. And things were going great. But now that I've moved on to Transport Fever 2, I find that I can't go back because the graphics are just that much of an improvement. So to summarize, if you're looking to upgrade from the original and you're looking for some new shiny gameplay mechanics to point to and say this is why you should buy it, then I don't feel like you're going to find anything. There certainly are some differences with the original in gameplay mechanics, auto replace, and some other things like that. But even those, you'll quickly adjust your play style and take advantage of any differences in the new mechanics. So that's not really a big deal. Everything more or less operates the same as it did in Transport Fever, but the graphics are such a huge improvement that they really have to be seen to be understood. So that's what we're going to do for the rest of today's video. Rather than try to tell you that I recommend this game or why I recommend this game or don't recommend it, I'm going to show you some different footage from within the game where we're zoomed in. I'm going to show you mostly the early game because that's where I have the most fun. We're going to see the horse and buggy going up and down the streets picking up passengers. We're going to see some of the early steam trucks that are moving cargo back and forth between destinations. And we're also going to see a couple of trains in action and all of the scenery that we can see as we move between cities and between different destinations. And then finally, we'll end up with some views from an airplane just to really seal off everything and bring it full circle. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me and enjoy the show.